What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on some recent tweets that LeBron James uh, posted, and basically they alluded to the NBA being rigged, right? Because of now, the Dallas Maverick, they recently, they won the lottery, and now they have an opportunity to go after the number one pick. Whereas now the odds for them to get the number one pick was like very, I mean, like a 1%, around 1% or something like that for them to get it. But they got they beat the odds, and now the Dallas Mavericks get that 1% that 1% draft pick, right? And so a lot of people think that they're going to go after what's the guy name? Cooper Flag. Because Cooper Flag is, he's projected to go number one overall. And so once it was announced that, they saw that the Dallas Mavericks was getting that number one pick. Let me see. Hold up. Once that was announced that they were going to get that number one pick in Dallas, what did LeBron James tweeted? Well, first LeBron James just tweeted like those laughing emojis, right? And shaking my head. So now I'm thinking LeBron James had already alluded to the NBA being like those drafts being rigged when he said something about him getting drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's been speculation. A lot of times people have been speculating that. People felt that the draft was rigged, like when the New York Knicks got Patrick Ewing. A lot of people agree that LeBron James coming from Ohio, then all of a sudden he ends up, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so he alluded to that. LeBron James alluded to that even on a Pat McAfee show. He said that. But I think LeBron James need to be careful with doing that, because I don't play for the NBA. So, I mean, I can say stuff like that, and I won't get any repercussions, or there won't be any consequences for what I say. But LeBron James is in business with these people. And so when you're in business with somebody, you can't throw your business partner under the bus and holler, my partner is shady. And then think that think that won't come back to bite you. And that's why I think once LeBron James leaves this NBA, I think LeBron James has just rubbed so many people the wrong way. I think once he leaves this NBA, I just think that so many people are going to come out the woodwork and come after LeBron James in ways he probably wouldn't even imagine. That it's going to be crazy, and I said in videos before that LeBron James, like he self-sabotages himself. Every move he make, it's like he's trying to self-sabotage himself. And he don't even need critics to do it. I mean, the critics are gonna point out like all the flaws and stuff like that. But for the most part, LeBron James do things to like self-sabotage himself. And so I think this move right here with him like fanning the flames as far as when it comes to the league being rigged, I think that's not going to sit well with the league. That's probably not going to sit well with other owners and GMs and stuff like that. And I think these types of moves and decisions that LeBron James make are going to come back and bite him. And that's why and it's already shaping up to be that way. I think a lot of, and I've been saying this for months, and a lot of people have been saying this for months, but and it's because it's easy and it's obvious to see. People don't they don't appreciate the way, some of the ways that LeBron James moves. and you have to pick a side. You can't you can't be on one person's side and then you know it's best sometimes not to say nothing, even if you don't want to lie. Like if you think that the NBA draft is rigged and you don't want to lie, if don't nobody ask you, then you don't have to say anything. You know what I mean? Not in the name of truth and honesty and justice and all that stuff. Just stay away from those type of situations. Like that response LeBron James gave was unsolicited. He just posted some emojis and shaking my head, and then when he went, like I said, when he went on the Pat McAfee show, he was so LeBron James, like he just worked against himself. I just don't think that I don't know who is his advisors. I don't know or maybe if he do have advisors, he not even paying these people no mind, because basically he's just saying and doing anything he want to do. And we have seen players in sports before who have been divas and stuff like that. And once their career was over with, they were untouchable. Like for instance, the guy who played football, what was his name? Wide receiver, Terrell Owens, right? Terrell Owens. He was a diva. He was fun for the fans to watch, with all his antics, and he's signing autographs in the end zone and shaking the pom-poms with the cheerleaders and stuff like that, and showing up his team rivals and stuff like that. All that stuff rubbed people the wrong way. And it was great entertainment. But when you disrespect people and you show people up like that, you just make enemies. And sometimes it's not even necessary to make enemies. You're gonna have enemies anyway, but you don't want to make enemies unnecessarily. And then so Terrell Owens was a perfect example of somebody who just rubbed people the wrong way and made enemies. And it's just hard for him to, after that game, after that sport is over with, once you are no longer able to perform for a person on the court, then it's kind of hard for people. You burnt those bridges. You rub people the wrong way, and people just want to see you not be successful after that, because now it's their turn to show you who what's what. And that's what I think the experience for LeBron James is going to be. He's going to be in a situation where they're going to give him his wake up card. You know, I think after basketball, Michael Jordan got it. He got his wake up call once Michael Jordan went to the Wizards as a GM, and he was expecting to be, he was expected to be owner of the Washington Wizards. They reneged on that deal, that offer that they had made Mike, and basically told Mike to kick rocks. And Mike was a guy who was really not somebody who was like he went with the flow. He was closer to being a company man than what you would call LeBron James. And still, he got his wake up call. So once LeBron, like I said, once LeBron take off that jersey for the last time, it's gonna be all bets off, and it's already coming to that. You see people already speaking up about LeBron James and his legacy, and giving honest critiques of what they think his legacy is. So yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people think that it's rigged. Like the NBA is rigged as far as that draft and stuff like that. And a 1% chance of getting the number one draft choice. I mean, if and this not the first time that this happened. Like I said, it happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers when they got LeBron James. Then it happened with the before that, it happened with Patrick Ewing. They had a small percentage chance of getting that number one draft choice, but then they got Patrick Ewing. Um, So it happens, it just happens. It happens, but for LeBron James to step out there and to mock that, situation, I think it's just not a wise move for him. I think it's going to come back to bite him. And so that's my take on it. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.